Welcome back, everybody. It is Evan here today, and I was recently scrolling through some of my incomplete videos that I made with DBD when I first got the game. Now, I came across this video, and I titled it 7 Deadly Sins of Dead by Daylight. And I started watching it, and it was basically me when I was like actually rank 14 before I knew how to literally play the game or anything. Talk about what was a sin to do in Dead by Daylight. And I thought this shit was so hilarious, and most of it I don't even agree with anymore, but I thought it was so funny and stupid that I just decided to, maybe continue on with what today's sins are in Dead by Daylight. Now, take this with a grain of salt. They're most likely not going to be sins as much as BMing, in a way. But now that I actually know what I'm doing, I feel like I can give a few more insights on what's going on. So we're going to have the first 3 sins are going to be from when I first got the game and really had like no idea how to play. And then the last 4 sins, if I can come up with 4, will be what I think would be considered sins for the game right now. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoy, and have a good night.
Wait, what? I'm gold?
Dude, I can't do anything. She needs to get off my
gold.
Alright, hear me out. So you ever just playing a game of Dead by Daylight, and there's a killer or survivor that's being super freaking toxic, you just want to shoot yourself, or throw your PS4 out the window, or just freaking light that shit on fire. I don't even care. Throw it in your fire pit, pour some gasoline on it, and toss a match in there. Alright, but if you can relate to that, this is the video for you. Now, that's 7 deadly sins of Dead by Daylight. Now, before I start this video, I want to be completely honest and say I'm not that good at this game. Okay, I'm like rank 14 or something. I don't play too often, but I've been getting into it lately, so that's why I've been having it on the channel lately, which I think this is the first video, but I just wanted to throw that out there as a disclaimer, and let's get right into the first sin of Dead by Daylight. Oh, camping. If you camp, you are just bad. Alright, so normally camping, you can't really camp with Survivor. I guess you can, but this more applies to a killer. Alright, so camping, you're bad. But there's a difference. Let's differentiate here. Camping, where you're like standing in like 5 meters of the person is toxic, or just like right in front of him hitting him, that's toxic. Alright, but if you're like area camping, you know, kind of looking at them, kind of not, that's a different story. But right now we're talking about camping. You are just, I know people can say like you're just sitting there, not doing anything. You're literally just focusing on one person, pissing off everybody else, and ruining the game, because not only are you making it difficult for the survivors to play their game and help that person who's on the hook, but you're making it easier for everybody else to get gens, which makes the game boring, and you're pissing off the guy on the hook, and all those things just add for a shitty game, and it's boring and aggravating, and just don't do that if you're a sane person. That's my Claudette. You touch her, you dead, boy. Is what every tunneler says. Okay, so tunneling I wouldn't say is as bad as everything else. It's just when you are focusing on one person to get them out of the game as fast as you can. Most of the time it's an obsession, which is okay because that's kind of the point. But when you're doing it to everybody the entire game just to piss people off, you are not only rendering yourself useless, destroying the gens of other people, but you're also making the game not fun for everybody else and yourself. So you're literally just doing yourself a disadvantage and making the time shittier for you. So why tunnel? Why? You see this game? You see that button right there? You see this button right here? Don't ever push that button. Alrighty, and here we are back, a year later from those first 3 sins, to talk about what today's sins for Dead by Daylight would be. And I would say sin number 4, probably teabagging or flashlight spamming. Yeah, you heard me. That's the toxic shit. Because I know how to be toxic because I am toxic. That is something I do. I live for toxicity as a survivor. I do that shit all the time. And that's a sin only because it gets you killed 99% of the time. The killer will really want you if you just start doing that shit. I know that from a lot of experience. So you can be toxic however much you want, but if you want to live, I suggest you don't be toxic. Alrighty, and on to our 5th sin. I would say this 5th sin would be either gen tapping or throwing down pallets early if the killer does not have Spirit Fury or Enduring. Alrighty, so I put these both on the same level of sin because this is just rank 20 gameplay. Learn how to hit your skill checks, please. You literally get nowhere from gen tapping. It's just not worth it. And then when it comes to throwing down pallets early, if your team isn't doing generators fast enough, that's going to come back to bite your team in the ass, and that could end up screwing over your victory. So I suggest you start playing like someone that has a brain, and don't do that. That will make you go to hell, because that is sin number 5. Alrighty, let's get right into sin number 6, which I would say is using any type of key that can open the hatch prematurely, or any kind of Mori other than the yellow Mori. So that would be the ivory or the ebony. Now, this is more of like a serious one, just because I don't think anything that can take survivors out of the game early is stupid. That either allowing them to escape faster or having the killer to get a win faster. Now, these are both just not fun mechanics for both sides, and I can confirm that from how many times I've had it happen to me. Playing as a killer, having shit going my way, like the whole game, maybe I set up a 3-gen, there's 1 generator left, and all of a sudden 3 survivors escape because one of them had a purple key. That happens, and it's sad. And then we have the killers who will Mori after first hook, and then, it's not fun for both sides, because then the survivors are taken out of the game early, and it's not fun for anybody. Not to mention, the killers will not pip from that, and the survivors will. I think that's just like an unbalanced thing. I personally think they should be taken out of the game. So until then, it'll be our sin number 6, and we will move on to sin number 7. Alrighty, so before we get on to sin number 7, I want to have an honorable mention sin, and that is playing Dead by Daylight in the first place. Yes, you got yourself into this game. Yes, it's addicting as balls, and yes, you decided to continue playing this game, and, hopefully you enjoyed playing it, but that's just going to be our big sin, is playing this game in the first place. Recording this video again, it is insane how many times I played this song over and over again. You guys will probably never like this song ever. So, enjoy listening to it for the last time you'll ever want to listen to it. And for our final sin, sin number 7, this sin is complaining about hit reg. Yes, it is very prevalent that the hit registration in this game is beyond horrible. It's gotten better-ish over time, but it's just beating a dead horse to keep complaining about it. And yeah, I do this sin all the time. Every time I get bullshitted, like, oh, that hit, how did that hit? Are you kidding me? That hit me? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Literally everything above. Yeah, I know the hit reg is, oh my god, watching that video? What was that? What was that potato flashlight? Holy shit. Anyways, this is so amusing. Holy shit, I was bad. What the hell?
Yeah, back to the sin. This game has insanely horrible hit reg, and we all understand that. So, yeah, sin number 7 would be to complain about that because everybody knows about it. It's prevalent everywhere, and yeah, it is way oversaid. I'm gonna keep saying it because sinning is what I do, but you know, that is sin number 7. And I hope none of you actually thought this was like a big survivor killer rulebook video. It was all just for fun and games. I don't really care anymore too much. If you want to camp or tunnel, you do that. If you want to fucking teabag and flashlight spam, you do that. If you want to run Moris to see the cool animation, you do that. You know, you do what you want to do. I don't really care. So, as long as everybody's having fun at least. So, yeah, take this whole video with a grain of salt and just know it was just for fun, and I'm not actually trying to make like a killer survivor rule book because, you know, it's not good because it's not fun. So, I hope you all enjoyed this little throwback video. I sure as hell did. I thought it was hilarious seeing myself when I first started playing this game and how horrible my flashlight skills were. It was kind of funny, but I'll see you guys later. I do have several videos ready to come out soon, and enjoy. Have a good night, guys. Now that I think of it, that was probably my first ever great fucking skill check. I was really bad when I first got the game.